warm up 85. So we start by taking both sets of data and we ordered them both from least to greatest. I'm going to double check and make sure I have all the same data points or all the right number. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 in first period. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's an even number. So how many are going to be in the middle or are going to be the median? 2. And then on this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So how many will be in the middle of that one? 1. So that one may be a little bit easier. All right, so let's start with making a box and whisker plot for this first period right here. There are going to be 2 different box and whisker plots, so it'll look like a double box and whisker plot. Where do I want to start? Anyone have any idea? Where would I want to start with making a box and whisker plot? Okay, so if I don't remember, where can I look in my journal? Okay, we should have directions that tell us, back from the last unit, page 120, 121, that area. So it says right here, order your numbers from least to greatest. We did that. Draw an open number line. We did that. Our number line goes from 60 to 100. Because the lowest value is a 60 and the highest is a 100, and I counted by 2. And then step 3, mark the high and the low values. We're going to create our whiskers for this first block class. So our lowest value is 60. And the upper extreme, or the highest grade for that class, was a 92. So they seem to stretch pretty far, these grades. Now what? We need to find the what? The median. Find the middle. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. 2 in the middle, and what's between 82 and 82? It's an 82. If I added those together and divided by 2, I would get 82. So make a mark like this for your median. That's going to be the center of your box. Now what? Find the median of the lower values. So since there's 2 in the middle, I'm going to split them. I split this. This 82 goes with that side. This 82 goes with that side. So the middle, or the median of the lower half, is 75. Make a mark at 75. That's halfway between 74 and 76. So make a mark there. And now I need to find the median of my upper half. Cross those off. 88 and 90. What's halfway between 88 and 90? 89. If I didn't know that, I would say 88 plus 90, and then divide that by 2, and I would get 89. So that's halfway between 88 and 90. And now what? Make your box. And draw your whiskers. And I'm going to say this one is first block. Alright, so that's how we make our box and whisker plot for our first class. Now let's make it for 5th period. Do the same thing. Mark the upper and lower extremes. So the lower extreme is 84. So the lowest grade for this class is right here. And the upper extreme is a 100, so it's right here.
Miller, is that the time point tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Bye. I didn't know what she said at first. It sounded like a different language. She was talking really fast. Took a minute for my brain to process. So, can I already tell a big difference? Something that I might notice? Because it says, compare the 2 data sets, describe the variability. Is there a big difference so far? Yes. Yeah. Which class did better? 5th period. Their lowest score was a B. Their highest score was a 100. This one, their lowest score was an F. Their lower score was much lower than this one. So those are the kinds of things that you're going to talk about when you're talking about the variability. All right, let's find the median. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. The median is 93. So that's between 92 and 94. So there's my median. Now find the median of the lower half. When there's 1 in the middle, how do I decide which way that goes? You just don't use it. Don't use that. And now, what is the median of this lower set? 88. And the median of the upper half? Ooh, 100. That's hard. So is there going to be a whisker? No, there won't be a whisker on that side. Create my box. And there's 1 whisker. All right, so what are some of the things we could say? Describe the variability. What are some of the things we could say if we were describing it? What do you think, Eiley? First period had lower test scores. What else could we say? What could I say? Could I say anything specifically? Which one had the lower median? First period had the lower median. Anything else we might want to say? I might want to make note of fifth period's upper extreme was higher. So probably maybe 3 things might be enough. But there's lots of things you could talk about on there when you're describing the variability. And what does variability mean? It just means differences, right? When we're talking about statistical questions and they have to have variability, they have to have different answers. So when we're describing the variability, we're just talking about the differences. All right, any questions on this? So it looks like the rest of this week is going to be very similar. Okay? All right, did we finish our notes on probability of compound events? I feel like we didn't get to finish this. We finished it, but the video didn't finish it? Okay. All right. Did we put this in our journal? We did put it in our journal? If we had time. So let's make sure that you have it glued into your journal. Mine's on page 137. If you were not here on Friday, there's a video in your Google Classroom. All right, let's look at the skills practice on probability of compound events. Compound events means something happens, and then we're going to do something else. So what's the probability of a compound event occurring? The spinner at the right is spun twice. So you're just going to take it and you're going to spin it twice. So draw a tree diagram to represent the situation. So the first time I spin that spinner, what could happen? It could land on an A, it could land on a B, or it could land on a C. There are 3 outcomes the first time. 3 outcomes. It could land on an A, B, or a C. So if the first time I land on an A, what could happen with the next spin? With the next spin, it could either land on an A, it could land on a B, or it could land on a C. If the first time I spun it and it landed on a B, what could happen next? The next spin, it could land on an A, or it could land on a B, or it could land on a C. And then if the first time I spun it and it landed on a C, what could happen on the second spin? It could land on an A, or it could land on a B, or it could land on a C. That is the tree diagram for 2 spins. This is the first spin. This would be the second spin. So let's do our sample space. What would our sample space look like? What are all the different outcomes we could have? So we could get A. We could get AB. And we could get AC. So right here, there are 3 outcomes, starting with A. Then what could happen? Another outcome is a BA. Another outcome is a BB. And then another outcome is a BC. And then we could have CA, CB, and the last outcome would be CC. So how many outcomes are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 outcomes. Why is that funny? No, I was counting them individually. That was wrong. All right. Could I have gotten there mathematically? So on the first time I spun it, how many outcomes are there? 3. And the second time you spin it, how many outcomes are there? 3. 3 times 3 is 9 outcomes. So I could have gotten there mathematically. Do you know where I got the 3 and the 3 from? Because how many things are on this spinner? 3. So if I spin it once, there's a possibility it could land on 3 different things. And the second time, there's 3 different things. What is the probability of getting at least one A? What's the probability of getting at least one A? So let's look at our sample space. How many of these have at least one A in it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the probability is 5 out of how many different outcomes were there? 9. 5/9 is the probability of getting at least one A. Any questions about any of those? All right, let's look at the next section. For each situation, make a tree diagram to show the sample space, then give the total number of outcomes. So, the first thing is you are going to choose a hamburger or a hot dog, and then you have to choose potato salad or macaroni salad. So, the first thing, there's 2 different choices, and the second, there's 2 different choices. So if I did that mathematically, how many outcomes do you think there are? 2 times 2 equals 4. I think there's going to be 4 outcomes. But now we need to make a tree diagram. So the first thing is I need to pick a letter to represent hamburger. So we can do hamburger. And what letter do you want to choose for hot dog?
D.
That works. So this time, instead of making a top down, I'm going to make a from the side. You have to be able to read both of them, so I practice writing it both ways. All right, so if I choose a hamburger, then I need to either choose potato salad or macaroni salad. And if I choose hot dog, I need to either choose potato salad or macaroni salad. So how many different outcomes are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. I see 4. Let's make our sample space now. All right. So what's the first thing we're going to list in our sample space? Hamburger and potato salad. How am I going to list that? HP. Next is hamburger and macaroni salad. HM. Then hot dog, potato salad. And then, nope, I used the wrong letter for hot dog. It looked like hamburger again. Hot dog, potato salad. Hot dog, macaroni salad. So how many different outcomes are there? 4. All right. Choosing a vowel from the word computer and a consonant from the word book. How many vowels are in computer? O, U, and E, so there's 3. And consonants from book? There's 2. So how many different outcomes would there be? 6. 3 times 2 equals 6 outcomes. But now we need to make a tree diagram. Do you want to do the top down or to the side? Which way do you like better? Okay. So what 3 things are our first choice from computer? We could choose an O, a U, or an E. Everybody see where we got those from? So the first thing would be any of those things. And then, if we got an O from computer, then from book we could get a B or a K. If first we got a U from computer, the next thing we could get would be a B or a K. And the last thing, if we got an E from computer, then we could get the B or the K. And are we showing 6 outcomes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Make a sample space. And we get OB, OK, UB, UK, EB, or EK. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pretty easy? Yes? Okay. All right, so you'll finish this and you'll work on the back. And what you don't finish will be homework, but we need to look at today's skills practice. This was from Friday. We need to look at today's. And this is just on the fundamental counting principle, which is what we've been doing here. 3 times 3 was 9. 2 times 2 was 4. 3 times 2 was 6. So all we're doing is using that fundamental counting principle to find the number of outcomes. Number 1. It says use the fundamental counting principle to find the total number of outcomes in each situation. So, what is going to be the number of outcomes if I roll 2 number cubes and toss 1 coin? So, how many outcomes are there if I roll 1 number cube? 6. And how many if I roll the other number cube? And then if I toss a coin, how many outcomes are there? 2. Now do the math. 6 times 6 is 36. 36 times 2 is 72 outcomes. I'm glad I don't have to do the sample space for that. That would be large. All right. Now, how many total outcomes would there be if I had to choose rye or Bermuda grass? So that's 1. There's 2 there. And 3 different kinds of fertilizer. And so how many outcomes are there? 6 outcomes. All right. Let's try. We'll go through number 4. Making a sandwich with ham, turkey, or roast beef. How many different choices are there? 3. Swiss or provolone cheese. And mustard or mayonnaise. Three times 2 is 6, and 6 times 2 is 12. 12 outcomes. And the last one we're going to work on together, tossing 4 coins. So if I toss the first coin, how many outcomes are there? And the second coin, 2. The third coin, and the fourth coin. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16 outcomes. Do you think that as you finish this sheet, I want to see what you multiply together to get your outcomes? Yes, I do. Because if you are not doing it correctly and I go to look at it, I won't be able to see where you made your mistake if you didn't show your math thinking. So, you're working on the skills practice on this in class 2. I would finish up this skills practice while you're here, and that way if you have a question, you can come ask me. Then I would move on to this skills practice. That way if you have a question, you can come ask me. And then you can get started on your homework. Okay? And if you did not finish the IXL from last week, those 2 different sections, you need to finish that so that you can get a grade on that today as well. All right, any questions? Okay, you can get started working.